Hi guys, welcome back to Pilates Thread. I'm Jo. This week in our fundamental series of how to connect our bodies the most efficiently, we're going to be looking at spine extension. Spine extension is one of my least favorite things to do because I find it really hard. And in all the years that I've been teaching, I find that people tend to share that same opinion. Spine extension is a small movement. There aren't a lot of variety of exercises that we do within spine extension. There's sort of a very specific series of movements that we do. And they can be really frustrating because they're difficult. They're difficult to kind of wrap your mind around. We tend to use our eyes as a visual cue to where our bodies are in space and to help us figure out how to engage our bodies in a particular way. And with the spine in the back, we can't use that visual cue, sensory perception within our nervous system to help us find that, that movement or that control. So there's a few different reasons that it is tricky to kind of find. Additionally, back injuries is another thing that kind of makes things tricky. If you've got some sort of an old or new neck injury, that complicates how we move through spine extension. And if you have a low back injury, same thing. It's also really easy to overdo spine extension and to make the spine sore. So now that I've given you all of the reasons why spine extension is a terrible idea, let's talk about why it's necessary. Our spinal health is imperative for life, right? All of our nerves innervate or come out of the vertebral column, and the function of the body, all of the systems being driven by those nerves coming out of the spine can be encouraged or inhibited by good or poor spine health. So doing spine extension work stimulates the whole body, creating space between the vertebrae, giving strength to that spine, and counterbalancing all of this anterior forward motion that we all tend to be in these days. We're not going to do a whole spine extension workout today because that would be exhausting. We want to have spine extension happen in balance with the rest of our body's workout. So today's video is just going to be the tips on how to connect, how to ensure that you know you're connected, stay connected, and a couple of ways in which we use our props to facilitate the movement. Got a foam roller? I'd like you to have it handy. If you've got a squashy ball, have that handy. We're gonna start with no props on the mat. How do we just connect in our bodies? And then we'll add some of those pieces in order to make ourselves a little bit more successful, find a bigger range, maybe just get a little bit better control in the body with that spine extension. So come onto the mat, face down. Okay, now that we're down on the mat, let's figure out how to get into position. If you've seen some of the other fundamental connection videos, we talked a lot about using the floor as a tactile cue to figure out where our bodies are in space. The shoulder blades and the way that the pelvis or the sacrum connect onto the floor, the bottoms of the feet, where's the back of the head. And when we come onto our belly, we don't have any of those landmarks. So these are the landmarks that we use. We're gonna come down, and the first thing I want is, where is my eye gaze? My eye gaze needs to be straight down at my mat, so that the crown of my head here, or the top of my bun, is gonna go towards the wall opposite me there, and the back of my head is always reaching for the ceiling. So I don't wanna drop my head all the way onto the mat. If I come down, that immediately squinches my throat, and it puts my neck into this sort of forward position. And that's exactly what we're trying to counterbalance here in our everyday motion, is to bring that head into alignment. And so right here is where I'm gonna need to be. Everybody's gonna be a little bit different as far as how high off of the mat your head is lifted, or where that's hanging out. So those are your points of contact. The top of your head, you imagine it reaching long towards the opposite wall, and the back of the head reaches to the ceiling. Now it doesn't lift, right? I don't squinch my neck up this way. I have to keep it in line, so the eye gaze is down, and that's where my head is gonna be. Then I've got my thoracic here, my chest, just resting on the floor. And my arms are going to be out with my forearms down on the mat, sort of a goalpost pose down here. And I'm going to use the whole of my hand just to kind of give me a point of contact with the floor. Nice stability, like I would if I were on my back and I were planting my feet into the floor. I want all the fingers and the thumbs and the palms of the hand to be down, pushing into the forearms there, so that I draw the shoulder blades down along the rib cage. Now I don't arch, I don't come up here, I don't do anything funky with those shoulders. I have the elbows down and the shoulder blades traction down the rib cage. Now this beginning connection here, I automatically am already feeling work in the neck and work in the upper back. Doesn't feel difficult, I just feel those muscles firing to hold the top of the spine. Now, I'm gonna skip the rest of the spine here for just a minute and come down here to my feet. So I'm gonna take the legs off of the mat, lifting the hip up and reaching that leg out of the joint space of the hip. Lift the other hip up and reach it out of the joint space of the hip. And I'm gonna set the tops of the feet down onto the mat so that I'm long through the front of the leg, open or pointed through the ankle. Now, there's a difference there that I'm not pointing through the foot. If I pointed my foot and squenched my toes nice and hard, then my foot is gonna cramp pretty quickly, then my calf is gonna cramp, and I'm not gonna be able to hold this position. So I want my foot to be relaxed, and I want to elongate through the ankle and set that down. The feet are still gonna be active, you're gonna feel that, but you're not gonna be under threat of cramping in those feet. So now that I've got those legs set down, I should feel that those abdominals are starting to automatically want to engage to help hold me here. Neutral pelvis can be challenging to find here on our bellies. We've spent a lot of time in some of our other videos talking about neutral from our back or from seated. And so from here, we want to think about those little hip bones pointing straight down at the mat, and really more a sensation of length in the low back. So when I lay down on the mat, my belly automatically collapses forward and my low back goes squenched. So I have to think about pointing the tailbone down long towards my heels, which works in that pointed ankle position, connecting the shoulders, and then drawing the abdominals to the spine. So your sensation you're looking for here is as if your belly is floating off of the mat, okay? So we're not trying to actually lift the belly. If I pull my belly off of the mat, literally, I'm gonna pike my hips, and then I'm gonna end up squinching everywhere else. I don't want these hips actually lifted off of the mat. I want the idea or sensation that they're lifted, so that belly is drawn to the spine. So, with our core connection, we have the pelvic floor drawn up and in, the ribs are closed down and together, and the belly button is cinched up to the spine. Once all of those pieces are connected, it's actually a lot of work just to lie here on the mat. You should be able to feel the whole of your spine engaged. We feel the legs engaged, right? A little bit of a pull up through the quads. Not so much that we're hyperextending the knees, but just that those legs are active. With the feet pressed down onto the mat here, I want to squeeze the top of the inner thighs together. So that's all of our different pieces of the body that are engaged. And if we just hold this here, you kind of ask yourself, what could you do from this position in which you wouldn't lose all of these connections? And that short list I was talking about of spine extension exercises kind of becomes a little obvious or clear there, that there's not a whole lot of specific spine extension that we can do and maintain this position here. So that belly button drawn to the spine, ribs closed, crown of the head reaching. Make sure that eye gaze stays straight down. And we breathe. Now we want to breathe here into the sides and back of the rib cage, trying to minimize the rise and fall of the belly or the chest off of the mat. Breathe into those lungs like they are balloons, which fill in all directions, which means you've got lots of space to send some air into your back. Everything's connected nice and tight. Now from here, we're gonna reach those big toes together. So I bring the legs together. I was in this parallel position, and now we're gonna come with those big toes touching. Everything is connected, and we're gonna lift just the legs. So we inhale and exhale to prepare. Get your connections with your exhale. On the next inhale, we lift the legs. I'm gonna exhale, hold. So my tummy is nice and tight. My feet stay together. My upper body hasn't shifted. My legs, I'm trying to lift my thighs off of the mat. And with an exhale, I'm gonna bring those legs down. Now it's gonna be easier to think about lifting your knees, lifting the lower leg. But we've got to lift the inner thighs, the pelvic floor, squeezing the glutes just a smidge to get those legs up and back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and exhale to prepare. Inhale, squeeze the inner thighs, pull up the pelvic floor and lift. Exhale, hold. Tummy is tight so you can get a little bit higher. Exhale, come down. Now we're going to see about engaging the upper body. So we're going to leave the lower body planted on the floor. Inhale and exhale to prepare. Get your connections. Inhale, reach the crown of the head long to the opposite wall. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back and lift. Now notice my elbows have lifted off of the floor just a little bit, but my hands are staying down. I want to ensure that the connection and the work is in the right place. Exhale, come down. Inhale, reach the crown of the head, draw the shoulders down and lift. Press into those arms a little bit less. Exhale, come down. Keep that belly button drawn in nice and tight. One more. Inhale, reach the head. Pull the shoulders and lift. And we're gonna hold. Now, I've really ensured by this third one, first of all, that I haven't come as high as I did on the first one. But also, I've not used my arms. So I can float the arms off of the mat. Inhale, see if you can lift a little bit higher. Exhale, come down. So let's try that one more time without pushing into the hands this time. So we're just gonna let them float up with us from the beginning. Inhale and exhale to prepare. Inhale, reach the head, pull the shoulders down and lift. Exhale, hold. Draw that belly button in, press down through those feet. Inhale again. Exhale, come down. Now right here, we're gonna push back to our heels into a nice child's pose, and we're gonna stretch out and release the back. Let the head drop here between the arms and fingertips reach to the front edge of the mat so you really stretch those shoulders. The belly button is drawn to the spine and the tailbone pulls down towards those heels to stretch out the low back. Now we're gonna grab our ball and we're gonna put it between our ankles, and we're gonna grab our foam roller and we're gonna bring it out here with us to our hands. So we're gonna come down onto the mat again. You're gonna extend those arms long and rest the hands on top of the roller. I've got the ball squeezed between those ankles. You can leave the tops of the feet on the floor, or you can let them float ever so slightly off of the mat, whichever is more comfortable for you. Those legs aren't actively lifted, so if your feet are kind of floating, make sure that the rest of the leg isn't squeezing and lifted off of the mat. It's gotta be long in contact with the floor. Your arms here, if you've got a long foam roller, you've got the option of taking them really wide, so you have a little bit more of a V instead of this tight sort of 90-degree angle here up with the arms. You can take the arms a little bit wider. So if you've got some shoulder issues, this is a nice way to get into the back and open up the chest a little bit more. So find where it feels comfortable for you, letting the palm of the hand rest on the roller. So once I'm here on the props, I've got to make sure that everything is connected. I bring that eye gaze back down, belly button drawn to the spine so I find neutral, squeeze that ball, thinking about the squeeze happening from the top of the inner thighs. So the whole length of the leg is working to hold that ball. Shoulder blades are connected, crown of the head is long. I'm going to inhale and exhale to prepare. As I inhale, I'm going to lift the upper body. reaching the crown of the head long, drawing the shoulders down and pulling the roller to me. I come up, and with an exhale, I come down. Inhale, reach the head, pull the shoulders, draw the roller in and lift. Exhale, come down. Now I'm gonna do one more like that and show you a little bit of a difference. If I were to just draw in here and not engage in my abdominals, I sort of crunch into my spine here. I can't lift if I'm not lifting with my back, coordinating with my abdominals. So I sort of go crunchy here. It doesn't feel good in my back. There's a lot of work happening in my shoulders, and I've kind of let my legs go. So if I come from this point here where I'm lifting, but I'm not really truly connected, squeeze the ball, draws the belly down, or draws the pelvis down long, belly to the spine. And bring my belly button with me off of the mat. Exhale, come down. It's the difference between squeezing into the back and lifting, bringing that belly button with you. All right, letting the arms rest, we're gonna raise those legs, squeezing onto that ball. Inhale and exhale to prepare. Inhale, lift. And automatically I can go quite a bit higher. Squeezing through there, got my glutes coordinated with the inner thighs, coordinated with the pelvic floor, and those legs are reaching long. They're shaking, but I'm lifting. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Thinking about that belly button staying cinched the whole time. Inhale, lift, and hold. Now, keep the legs up there, and we're gonna add the upper body. Inhale, reach the head, drop the shoulders, pull the roller in. Exhale, everything returns. Inhale, everything's gonna lift. Reach the head, squeeze the ball, draw the shoulders and the roller in. Exhale, down. Let's do one more, guys. Draw it down, reach the head, squeeze the ball, lift with the inhale. Exhale, come down. And push back to your heels again to release your back with a little stretch. And rest. Okay. Whew. So that gives us the basics of our spine extension. So we've got the belly button drawn to the spine, thinking about not leaving that belly button on the mat when we're working. Squeezing the inner thighs together, reaching all the way down to those heels. Using the ball at the ankles, you could use the ball up at the knees. Using the roller there at your hands with your hand position either being narrow or being wide, whichever really feels more comfortable, and getting into that work of the spine. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we don't do this just a complete spine extension workout because it's a lot on the body. It's really intense. We want to do it in a balanced fashion with everything else that we're working on. So we're going to have a video coming soon. I'm going to put together all of our fundamental tips and exercises that we've done so far into one fluid movement. So each of these exercises has an unexpected connection of some kind that one exercise facilitates or connects to another exercise that we might not necessarily think are coordinated. And we've saved spine extension until this point in our video series because all of the other exercises that we've been doing are facilitating spine extension. This specific exercise is a small piece of the puzzle, but your spine is really working throughout everything else that we're doing within Pilates. So thanks for joining me today. Please subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button. Let us know what you think of this video. Let us know what you would like to see in some future videos. Yeah, take care, stay safe, and practice your Pilates. We'll see you later.